So I'm just going to talk today about my most recent trade, AMTD. I'm sure many of you got into this stock. It was a pretty awesome one. So I made on the stock $594.10. The entry was good, but the exits were pretty bad. I will take you through all of the entries and exits shortly. I'm just going to have a quick run through of why I entered the trade. Yeah, and let's take a look. So I came across this stock through just scanning through my stocks. I have a scanner on FinViz now, which I put a few filters in, just spits out a load of different stocks, mainly low floats, which make money. There's not many, or at least half decent low floats, which are undervalued in my opinion. So let's take a look. AMTD, looked at their financials, and they're doing pretty well, increasing revenues and profits year over year. So I'm quite pleased with that. The recent quarter wasn't so good, but still, overall, amazing thing. A lot of people would look at that and want to buy it straight away. So income's good, balance sheet isn't too bad. The stockholders' equity has actually come down in the last year, but overall it's going up. Their PE ratio was, I think, about a 2 or a 3 at the time of entry, which is awesome. So we've got a growing company with really good profits, a P ratio of 2, which is phenomenal. You tend to see quite a few of these in the small cap market. Okay, their market cap is actually 8.5 billion, so that's quite high, to be fair. At the time of entry, let's say 4. So yeah, it's quite high market cap, but offered a lot of potential. The float's about 30 billion shares. No, sorry, 30 million shares, I think. Yeah, 35.85 million shares. It's not low enough to be doing mental moves. Well, that's what I thought at the beginning. I knew it had potential to make a decent move. That's why I entered the stock. That was the first good reason for the stock. It had to meet those criteria basically. So the next thing is the chart being beaten down over a long time. We just make this a bit bigger. As you can see, since IPO, it's gone down from 10ish down to 1. And they're increasing revenues and earnings, so that's a good start for it to be able to have a big push up. It's done a few in the past, all have failed though. So yeah, that was the first good thing. Been come down for a while, and I actually saw it. I saw this stock on the 29th of July. Sorry, no, I think it was the 1st of August. Yeah, so I saw this stock had a big run up, huge volume. Let me just minimize this chart again, try and make the volume look a bit better here. There we go. So it's first big day on the 22nd of July when it ran from 1ish to just over 250 a share. It did about 11.2 million shares traded versus roughly like 500k per day. So an enormous increase, obviously a big run up as well. Over the next few days after that, it was slowly coming down. But the one thing I noticed is the volume stayed. As you can see, it dipped down, but there was still a lot of volume going into this on all the days running up to this big move. So I could clearly see people were still interested in buying this. So I thought I'd have a look for a decent entry and give this one a shot because I knew it had some potential to run again. You can see all on its way down. There's no massive selling panics really. All it is just there was an initial panic in the morning after the first green day, and then got bought up on decent volume, and then just faded on low volume. Every time it spiked up a little bit, a lot of volume would come in. That's a pretty good sign for me. And every time it would make new lows, there was barely any volume. I figured there was more people wanting to buy this than sell it, so it was just a matter of time. When the stock turned again, it could make a decent move, and it did on the 28th and 29th of July. These 2 days, it was trying to make a move. It did fail, but again on low volume. So I saw it in this last day, and it was coming down, extremely low volume though again. So I was pretty sure this wasn't the end of the move really. So I just looked for, as soon as it looked like it was starting to turn, which it did here. It's pulled back quite a decent amount of the move, hitting support and resistance in this area. Sorry, resistance. No support. In support in this area, which it tried to break through quite a few times, and yeah, bounced off of it. So that was the area I was playing from. So let's get down into the entries. So my first entry is at 163. You can see that. And I did 400 shares, but it came down under the 160 area, so I had it initially, and then I saw it was being brought back up over that level, so basically a false break. That's a good sign. And also I lost $20 in the initial entry. That's fine. And then I entered back in at 159, 400 shares with my new risk. At that point would have been under 150, and then I added twice more, so one at 200 share lot at 162 and another 200 shares at 164, and then I was going to risk under the low at 157. Held it, and I was pretty pleased to see it started to pick up volume here, a really nice amount. So that was my confirmation really that it was going to start moving. So my initial targets were going to be back to 2, and then the 250 range, and then the 200-day moving average, or around this area. So 2, 250, 3, anything above that, I was just gonna see how far it went. Basically, I knew that $8 was going to be a big area for it. Loads of resistance going back on the daily chart. That was my key levels. I had a feeling it could go higher, back up to that 16.5 range or higher again, but I thought the odds of it going that high were pretty slim because it's such a high float. But as you can see, it did get up pretty high. So I got out some shares at 180 twice. I thought it was going to come back down. I'm actually going to try to find my executions. So I forgot to mention HKD ticker symbol had a huge run up. I believe that AMTD own 88% of them. I think that's right, but I know these two stocks are connected in some way. So this was making a huge run at the time. It was at about $400 per share. I just saw actually a minute ago that it went up to 2,000, on the high of $2,555.30. That is nuts. Did anyone trade this? I didn't, but well, it's insane. Such low volume, but it went up so high. It's nuts. Anyway, so I saw that one also moving. That was another reason for me to get in. So I exited 300 shares of the 800 at 180, and then 191 I took out another 100 shares, 206 and 208, 100 shares each, and then 225, 50 shares I sold, held the rest into the after hours and got a nice run up, so I sold 2 more times, both 50 shares, and then left it overnight. Knew it had a big potential to gap up anyway, so saw this in the morning about 9 o'clock ish, I think, UK time. 588, I just saw it at a run up, figured I'd just take some more off. Didn't have many left anyway. So 588, I had 25 shares out, and I had 25 shares left at 1ish. I got rid of it at 863, which was my best exit for the 25 shares. Right after, had a big run up. It was stupid of me to actually get rid of those 25 shares. Of course, seeing it in hindsight, I could see it was starting to push higher again, and I don't know. I saw it at that price, and I just took it. It was only 25 shares at the end of the day, but every little goes a long way in trading. I should have held it. I was on lunch at the time, and had I not seen it, I was only on lunch for half hour because I was at work at the time. After that, it just came down, and I would have been well pissed had I missed it. So yeah, 863 is okay. Like I said, overall profit $594.10. It was pretty good. My exits could have been better. I just took too many shares too soon, right at the beginning, as it was starting to spike. But I'm trying to grow my account, be safe, so I can't blame myself for this really just yet. But I've got to do better going forward when I find more of these stocks. Yeah, I am in another stock at the moment. I'll be putting out another video on that and my overall P&L, which is looking pretty good. So I'll be bringing out that video shortly as well, next couple of days hopefully. So keep an eye out for it. Let me know if you traded this stock, how you did. Did you buy it? Did you short it? Quite interested to see what everyone was up to on this. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video.